Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and this is kind of a part two video where last week I was showing my 2023 top 10 want lists and which books I got from that list. Well, this is my 2024 want list, and it's it's me going after bigger books. I kind of want to go after some really big books this year and hopefully get them. um, some of these I actually bid on um, bef- before I actually after I made the list. So I was kind of going for a few of these, hopefully going to get them. I don't know, but you know, I basically recorded this before knowing whether or not I'll get them. So I'm hoping some of these I'll have. But this is the list. Okay, so first is Jumbo Comics number 69. And I'm going to try to put photos of, I'm not sure which way it'll go, but photos of each of the books. So you guys get to see what the books are that I'm going after. So Jumbo 69 is actually the very first Matt Baker art in comics. Now, it's not his first cover. It's, I think it's I'm not sure who did the cover. I think it's like a Joe Doolin cover. I'm not sure who did the cover for 69, but it is his first artwork in comics. He did the story Sky Girl inside of Jumbo 69, and he later on really took that character and made it his own. So that book is one of the ones that's kind of like the grail for Matt Baker collectors in terms of historical grails. Like it's one that I'd really love to own, and it always seems to elude me. The next one on my list is Witch's Tales number 25. Now, this is a pre-code horror grail. It's because it's just one of these crazy covers with a head inside a belt. It's just like, and it's like the clapper with inside the belt. And it's kind of one of the most gruesome ones. Like anytime you have a decapitation, it's kind of a major book for the golden age, and pretty much any age. I mean, it's just like very, very well-known cover, and that's why it's on my want list. Another book that's also a pre-code horror cover that I always wanted, and I've mentioned this probably many times before, is Chamber of Chills 19. That's the next one on my list. And Chamber of Chills 19 was actually used by the Misfits on the record album for Monster, and it's probably the most recognized pre-code horror comic of all time, and it's just a cool cover. Like I actually found a few homages of it, but I'd love to own the original, so that's definitely high on my list. The next one is kind of funny. It was on my 2023 want list, and it was the only book that I was unable to get from my 2023 want list. It is Zombie Tramp number 3. I don't know what it is about this book. I can get these big major golden age books, but I cannot find for the life of me Zombie Tramp number 3. It's just a really rare book. It's a ghost. I've only seen it once in auction, and I didn't win. Actually, it sold for more than Zombie Tramp number 1 did, which I thought was kind of unusual. But now maybe I realize why. It's just such a hard book to find. There are reprints of it as well. So sometimes you'll see reprints of it. Look at the picture because that's the real first printing. Next book on the list is one that it's almost frustrating to me because I've been trying to discover the first appearance of a character and where he actually made his first appearance in comics. And originally, I thought it was a book. I actually have the book. Do I have it handy? No, I don't have it handy. But the character is Popeye. And this is actually an early Popeye appearance. I believe this is from 1930, like 34, 33, somewhere around there. And I was trying to find Popeye's first comic book, or comic, even in a book format, appearance. And I thought it was a one book, which is the one I thought it was. And then I was keep on discovering new first appearances until I found this book. This is Thimble Theater #1, and I believe that it is truly the first appearance of Popeye in comics, and it's one that I'd really like to get. It came out in 1931, making it by far the earliest one I could find. Popeye himself was only created in 1929, so this is what I believe to be the first time that he's in non-newspaper printing. So Thimble Theater #1, high on my want list. It's one that I'm actually bidding on. Hopefully I'll win. The next one is another one I'm bidding on, and it's Lone Ranger Comics #1. This is actually a really interesting book. It came out in 1939, and it is the first appearance of the Lone Ranger. Now, it was a promotional comic, actually, for an ice cream company. So you can see the big ice cream cone on it. But it just happens to be his first appearance. And it wasn't until much later, I think 1945, that they actually started printing a comic for the Lone Ranger, which was also titled Lone Ranger Comics. So this is a very early first appearance and has a big time between it and the next appearance. So just a really cool comic. I sort of got into the Lone Ranger. I always liked the Lone Ranger as a kid, but I had went to like a Comic-Con, and they showed somebody had like a little collection of Lone Ranger, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I figured I'd pick a few up, and then it became one of those weird little obsessions of mine where I had to get his first appearance. So that's another book that I'd really like to get. The next one is an interesting one. This one I had the worst luck with this book. This one is Weird Mysteries #6. It is not a first appearance. It's just a cool pre-code horror comic. I like magic covers, like where there's kind of some magic thing going on. And this one has like a decapitation plus magic. And you got the head being pulled out of the top hat. I always thought it was a cool cover. It is one where I actually was on a claim sale. I was watching a claim sale, and somebody had 2 copies. And it was like whoever claimed first, made the first claim, got it. And the guy, he was, I think it was like $300 that he sold them both for. And so I claimed, he said, I have 2 copies. Whoever claims first gets them for $300 each. And so I claimed. I was the third name. So the other 2 guys, I was just on a slower connection, I guess, and they got it, and I didn't. So I was very upset about that. And it was such a great price too. So Weird Mysteries #6, just a cool cover. Another one that is kind of not a major key or anything like that, but just a book that I think is kind of cool to own, and it's quite rare, is Pep Comics #62. Now, this is the first appearance of Jinx in comics. She's kind of like I actually read the comic online. She's kind of like this character that is just kind of bad luck in a weird way, almost like Dennis the Menace, where, she just kind of causes problems for other people. So just an interesting character. And then they've reused her, and they actually made a more adult version of her. She's a little kid in the original, but they made an adult version of her later on. But this is her first appearance, Pep 62, and it's just one I'd like to get. I like these key first appearances, even if they're obscure characters. So Pep 62 is one that I'd really like to get. The next one is one that I've talked about multiple times on my channel, and actually I was kind of watching it for a while. It's Superman #4. Now, this is one where it is truly the first appearance of Lex Luther. And it was meant to be not the first appearance, it was meant to be the second appearance. but it just got released earlier than Action Comics. I think it's Action Comics 21, I believe, which was supposed to be the first appearance of Lex Luther. And even CGC denotes it that the Action Comics one is the first appearance, but it did come out later, about 2 weeks later. So Superman 4 is the book I'd like to get. A lot of people make the mistake that they think, oh, that's Lex Luthor on the cover, where they see the guy, the bald guy, and they think, oh, that's Lex Luthor, but it isn't. It is not Lex Luthor. In early versions of Lex Luthor, he had hair, red hair actually. So that isn't him on the cover, but maybe the inspiration. I don't know, because it does look like Lex Luthor. So that's the next one on my list. Now, the last one on my list is another Superman-related comic. It's Action Comics number 27. And Action Comics number 27 is the first cover appearance of Lois Lane. She's kind of in the background. And it's just I like Lois Lane, and I figure it's the closest I'll get to her first appearance. Like her first appearance is in Action 1, which is kind of impossible to get, but Action 27 is kind of the next best thing because it's her first cover appearance. You know, Action 1, who wants that if it doesn't have her on the cover, right? So I figured this is my next best thing for Lois Lane collecting. So this is her first cover appearance. So those are my top 10 books on my list. It'll be an interesting year. They're pretty big books, a lot of these ones. And I'm not sure how many of them I'll get, but my goal is to get them all, especially that zombie Tramp. So if you see them, you can tell me, and I'll probably try to come up with the money to buy them. I'll do my best. So those are my top 10 want lists for 2024. What are your books that you're chasing this year? You can tell me in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. And thanks again for watching. Bye for now.